Sunshine.
Hi, Sunshine. It's Slam. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Slam? Sorry
I'm
I'm late.
I'm doing good. Oh, no problem at all. Thanks for taking the time for the interview.
No problem at all. No problem at all.
I'm sorry if you hear me coughing a little bit. I'm just a little under the weather, so I just wanted to warn you.
Oh, look, I totally get it. My whole house has been sick since Halloween.
uh,
We,
wow.
we finally got everybody in the doctor and on medication,
Yeah.
so we're trying to get over it too. I
Nice.
get it.
Cool. So, first off, I just want to congratulate you on the release of your album, The Sun Shines Again. How are you feeling with the release of the album and everything?
You know what? I'm feeling real good. Like, I'm telling you, I can't even stop right now. Life was great.
Yeah, that's good. Since it's been about a month since the release of the album, if you could rate it with a letter grade, how would you give, everything that's going on since the release?
How you said if I could rate it with a letter grade, what letter would I give?
Like everything
For
that's,
really,
yeah, everything that's happened since the release.
I definitely have to say A.
Okay.
Definitely A. You know what I mean? Obviously there's always a few kinks to be worked out. You know what I mean? But after 3 years, I feel that I'm being real well received by my fans. And matter of fact, I'm in Twitter jail right now because I've been on Twitter all morning, and I just, they make me feel so good. Like, you know what I mean? It's like I don't know. Sometimes I get tears in my eyes because I'm, in such a good place right now. But
Yeah.
I definitely have to give it an A. Yes.
Cool. I want to actually ask you about Twitter because I'm following you on there. I see you interacting with your fans a lot on there. How has social networking changed the way you do things, and how has it changed the way you interact with your fans?
You know what? It's really crazy you answer that because, I'm so, I'm just so sunshine. You know what I mean? That I have to. Sometimes I wonder, am I being too real? You know what I mean? Am I
Yeah.
saying too much? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And then I feel like, Twitter is the one place. Well, I always say it's the one place where you can be exactly who you are. And then one of my girlfriends was like, yeah, it's the one place you can be anybody else too. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Then I always say I can't be nobody but sunshine. So if I'm giving too much or if I'm saying too much, it just is what it is. But it makes it so much better to be out, to be able to just like almost reach out and touch them. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
Like when I get responses back that say, "Oh my God, Sunshine Anderson just retweeted what I said." Like, but I spoke to one guy this morning and he was like, "Hey, baby," and I was like, "Hey, baby." And he responded and he was like, "Oh my God, I'm grinning ear to ear right now. I cannot lie." And it's almost like, stop it, like little old me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
like I love to be able to touch them and to talk to them personally and have them, be able to say, well, even those that say, well, I didn't really like that last record, I didn't really like that song. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a great way to be able to interact, and I'm so glad that I have that opportunity.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you, do fans give you like real, criticism and real feedback on your music if they don't like something? Do they let you know that?
I think they do. I haven't had a lot of those, but I think they do. And of course, the haters are always running rampant. Although I haven't had that many experiences with the haters on Twitter. I've had a few.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Like I said, everybody is entitled to their opinion and how they feel, and that's cool. And I'm entitled to mine too. So,
Yeah.
it's great.
Definitely. Okay, so back to your new album. You chose the title "The Sun Shines Again." What made you go with that title?
I went with the Sunshine again because this album is a relationship album, if you can tell.
Yeah.
And there are those songs on the album, that kind of really let my guys have it. I'm kind of known for that.
Yeah.
Honest and raw and saying it exactly how it is. And so, but at the same time, I love my fellas. You know what I'm saying? And so, it was almost like, how can I reflect on the positive side of my life right now? How can I reflect on all the good things, you know what I mean, that are going on in my life? I know about her before, and I know something I want to give you, and now you ain't got a lot of kids that it kind of looks like, oh, she's a men basher, and she always talking junk,
Yeah.
But yeah, I am, step your game up, definitely step your game up. But I wanted to reflect, like I said, on the more positive side of my life, which is the fact that I got a third opportunity to do this again. You know what I mean? So, the sunshine again, I'm back. The last album was Sunshine at Midnight. I was kind of, in a dark place, or, in a situation where I kind of wanted to let people know that, you can shine even in the darkest of night. Mm-hmm. But now, with the sun shines again, I'm back. I am a woman, hear me roar.
Cool. I had a chance to listen to your album a few times through. What made you decide to go with Lie to Kick It as the first single?
I can't really say that was my decision.
Okay.
The label definitely likes what it likes, and and everyone considers everyone's opinion. But the label really liked Lie to Kick It. That's one of the main records they heard as to why they even signed my deal. So gave me the deal. So they definitely liked that record, and about that. That's what people are used to hearing from me.
Yeah, of course. Can I ask what your choice would have been for the first single?
Honestly, my first choice probably would have been Say Something.
Okay.
And Say Something is going to be the second single. And the only reason I picked Say Something was because of the fact that they had heard it all before, and it's something I want to give you. And I was just talking so much junk, and I was like, I want people to hear the different side. I knew the critics were going to come out and say, well, they said on my last album, not much has changed for Sunshine in the last 6 years. She's still angry and upset. And, and like I said, that's so not who I am. My real name is Sunshine. Yeah, more than anything, I just felt like my audience and the fellas, needed to hear a record like Say Something from me.
Yeah, definitely. I want to share with you my favorite on the album, and that's the song Call My Own. Can you give me some background on that one? Yeah, I like that one a lot.
Okay, cool. I like that one. That's great.
Yeah, just give me some background on that song if you could.
Call My Own is kind of like, I'm tired. You know what I mean? I'm tired of always having to share him, or, of him wanting to be shared, And at the end of the record, I kind of say, ladies, he's mine. This one is mine. Don't touch him. And there again, I'm tired. You know what I mean? It's like, when is God going to send me something that's mine? You know what I mean? And I know it's out there, so I'm just going to be patient and, wait for that one that I can call mine.
Yeah.
And it is true. It's true. I still believe in love, and I believe in marriage, even though mine didn't work out. And I believe that there is that one that God is going to send to me that's, just for me, that's my own.
Yeah. Cool. And on this album, I know you collaborated on most of the songs with Mike City, the producer, who's worked on all of your albums. Talk to me about your relationship with him and how you guys work together.
Yeah, City and I are good friends. And, City really raised me in music. You know what I mean? I learned structure from Mike City. And as far as structure, structure in a song, the first verse, the second verse, the climax, the bridge, and, the bridge, the climax, I just learned structure. I learned simplicity from Mike City. He's very good at what he does. He's a great writer. He has this amazing ability to be able to write from my standpoint, standing in my shoes. And he sees my heart on a record. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We have these long, tough conversations, where I just be venting, and then I get to LA and there's these beautiful songs written, like Call My Own, like Number 5, My Life Back. You know what I mean? Like, it's just amazing. Like I said, the viewpoint that he can see things from. So he's a good dude, and he's got a family, 2 little girls and a new wife, and he's a really great guy.
Yeah.
Great guy.
I actually had the chance to interview him last month, and he told me the story about how you guys met in college and everything, and about this new album. He told me people might not get it right away, but down the line he thinks it'll be considered a classic. How do you respond to that?
You know what? You hear me use that word amazing a lot. I'm sorry. I'm just, the opportunity there again is so amazing, but I'm feeling that way. You know what I mean? When you've been through what I've been through in the music industry, sometimes it's hard for you to see your worth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard for you to see yourself like others see you. And so, we recorded this record, and It was great, but I think the feedback that I'm getting, you know what I mean, is making me feel even stronger about how far this record can really go. You know, it's funny you said call my own because I did a lot in UK. I was on the phone for about six hours the other day doing UK interviews, and call my own came up a few times, and you know it's a little different over there. You know, they play all the songs. You know what I mean? They really listen to the record, and I got off the phone and my chest was really sticking out. Like, you know what? You know, maybe this can be what it was like I dreamt it. You know what I mean? Maybe this dream can really happen, you know, like I dreamt it. You know what I mean? So I feel really good about that. I feel really good about him saying that. And it's funny because the other day I got in my girlfriend's car and she had my album playing, and I was in Atlanta with one of my girlfriends and she had my album playing, and you know, like, you know, your friends are your friends, and you know, they love you because they love you. But it wasn't like that with the last album. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I am definitely reminded of who I am, you know what I mean, by my friends, and that, you know, this is a great album, and you know, and on my Twitter and Facebook love. So yeah, I think this could be a classic record. You know, I don't think that I agree with Cindy that people may definitely, you know, once they get the hang of it, you know what I mean, and once they catch on, yeah, this could definitely be another classic.
Very cool. You know, I want to hear your opinion on, you know, The Sun Shines Again in comparison to your first two albums. Do you feel like you've grown, you know, over the course of all these albums? And, you know, tell me about that.
Oh, yeah, I've definitely grown. I see the growth. I really hate that people missed the second album, Sunshine at Midnight. There was great production on that album, Mike City Again, Dr. Dre, Raphael Sadiq. I wrote on 6 songs on that album, you know. So I definitely saw the growth from the first to the second, and definitely there were 6 years in between that album, you know, and anybody would grow up, hopefully. So I definitely saw the growth, and like I said, I'm really sad that, you know, a lot of people missed that record. As far as the growth from this one to the next, I definitely think it's there. My voice has changed as it does. You know, it sometimes you know, it changes from day to day, you know, sometimes. But my voice to me is a lot stronger and a lot more mature, and you know, my subject matter is definitely mature, and I feel really good about where I've come.
Yeah. Yeah, you mentioned your second album. There's a song on that album that I love, and that one is Problems, the one Dr. Dre produced. Man, that song is crazy.
Ooh.
I love that song.
And you know what? If you had heard the original version, Dre went in and did the record. Went in and did the record again. After, you know, he can really change his mind a lot.
Yeah.
And but the original version of that song, which is the song that I perform sometimes, My Problems, is a real intimate record, and I call it my Celia and Nettie on the front porch. You know what I mean? It was real down home, you know what I mean? And, you know, I love the new Problems. I'm not mad at it at all, but the new Problems kind of took away from the intimacy of the original record. But great record. I call it my recession record, you know. And that record was actually the third single on the last album, and I think radio had a hard time with it because, you know, the chorus says, I wish I could smoke and drink my life away, drink and smoke my life away. But, you know, if you listen to the record and you really close your eyes and let it take you there, you know, then you can feel what I was feeling and what I was going through. And, you know, and I was trying to express a lot of things that were going on around me at that time. So I'm so glad you pointed that record out. I love performing that record. I love performing.
Yeah. Definitely. Is there any chance we'll get to hear that original version of it?
Probably not, unless you're at a performance.
Yeah.
I don't think. Yeah, I definitely don't think it'll hit radio, but you know, hopefully, maybe you can get to a performance and it'll make that happen. Definitely.
Well, then you're gonna need to come to New York City to perform because I want to hear that.
I know, right? I know. I will make sure. Make sure.
Cool. Now I want to ask you about, you know, now that you're on an independent label, you know, what do you see as the biggest challenge?
You know, my last album I was independent. I was actually signed to my own label with a joint venture with Music World, National. So this isn't the first time independent. What I have to say this time, the biggest challenge is the whole, urban adult contemporary and urban mainstream, and you get categorized as this, or categorized as that, and I can't play your song on the radio because of this, and play your song on the radio because of that, and it's just it can be frustrating. I listen to mainstream radio.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I want my record to be playing on mainstream radio. And that's just how I feel. You know what I mean? I ain't mad at adult contemporary. I'm not mad at that. But to me, and this is just, I might not supposed to say this, but to me, if your record ain't playing on mainstream radio, masses don't know it's out. Mm-hmm. And so, because they don't know it's out, then you work 20 times as hard. It's always like that for me anyway, because I don't put an album out every year consecutively. So it's always, a catch-up game. But, like I said, if you're somewhere on mainstream radio, then you got to work even harder. You know what I mean? It's hard living in the city where I'm from. I moved back to Charlotte about a month ago now, my hometown, and it's hard if your song isn't playing on the radio station that you listen to. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, and then you run into people in the street, and they be like, "Oh, girl, what you doing?" You be like, "Oh, my album came out November 2nd, but it's not playing on the radio." You know what I mean? So, it can be frustrating, but hey, you get out, you work the record. You know what I mean? You talk to the PDs, you mingle with people, you talk to the indies, and it's a long haul. But mm-hmm. I'm up for the challenge. You know what I mean? I'm up for the challenge.
Yeah.
There's a lot to be done. There's a lot of work to be done.
Yeah, I mean, how does that make you feel? You mentioned you listen to mainstream radio. You're someone who has like a real, very good singing voice, and you might hear some people on the radio who can't really sing, but their songs are still getting on the radio. Does that frustrate you?
It's very frustrating. It's
very
frustrating. It's very frustrating when my mom, who's 61 years old, comes home and says, they played her record 10 times today. 10 times, Why can't they play your record? Or they played her all before. I hear her all before every day. Mm-hmm. And my mom was like, well, why can't they play How to Kick It? I don't understand. So it is frustrating. It is. But like I said, it's just it's a part of the, it's a part of the challenge today, and you have to prove yourself. You have to continue to prove yourself, each time. You're only as hot as your last song. Yeah. So, it's challenging, it's frustrating, but hey, you got to make it work.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Your Twitter bio mentions you're a licensed cosmetologist representing Blend's Midtown Salon in Atlanta. Tell me about this.
Hey. Yeah. I always wanted to open my own salon, and hair has been just a bigger passion as music for me, and so I had enrolled in hair school when Matthew Knowles in cosmetology school when Matthew Knowles called.
Yeah.
And so I had to go back to the lady and say, look, just put my stuff on hold until I can get the record out.
Yeah.
So the only reason I'm going to wait is because you're going to put the record out. So, after the second album, I got pregnant, obviously, and I had my daughter, and I thought, you know what, now you've got the downtime. Where I come from, it's called putting a few irons in the stove. You know what I mean? You got to keep a couple of irons in the stove. You got to keep a couple of pots burning on the stove. You know what I mean? And so I said, hey, I'm going. And mm-hmm. I finished in December of last year, of 2009. I started working at Blend's in January of this year. Mm-hmm. At the West End, we have two locations. At the West End, and Paula Britt, who's the salon owner, is a dear friend of mine. I've known her, and she's been doing my hair, and Blend's is the only salon that I've been to in Atlanta, Georgia, in the 7 years that I lived there. And like I said, she's a great friend of mine, and I expressed, to her what it is that I wanted to do, and she said, you know what, why don't you go to school? Some of my older instructors are still there. You'll love it, and when you're finished, I'll teach you everything you need to know. Yeah. And so that's what I did. I finished in December, started working in the salon, started my training in January. And I was licensed in April. We opened up our second location, which is Midtown on Ponce de Leon. We opened that location up in April, and Paula put me on the floor. So, yeah. I had my share of clients, and it was one of the best things that's ever happened to me. I knew that people wouldn't get it, and I knew that again, the haters would run rampant, which they did. But I ain't got to explain it to nobody. You know what I mean? I bet y'all want to be broke. I bet you'll hear my name, whether it's singing, whether it's hair, or whatever it is. So, that's my explanation. And I am probably the only one who can explain to you how hair is just like music, and how when you go in the studio and you the first thing you hear is the track. The first thing you hear is the beat. And then you got to go in and you got to lay them background vocals first. So you know where, that's your structure. That's what I learned from my city. You go in and you let them background vocals first. And that's just like, you coming from you shampooing your hair and conditioning it, and, that's the track. And then, I mold your hair and I put you under the dryer, and those are the background vocals. And then when you come up from under the dryer, I start my styling process, and those are the lead vocals. And then I spray that last little bit of finishing spray, and those are my ad-libs. And then you walk out of the salon feeling good and fresh and beautiful, and I got a hit on my hands.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, it's what else? Why not?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I have done it? Why wouldn't I have done it? So I'm getting myself back in here. Like I said, I moved back to my hometown of Charlotte. I want to open my salon here. I feel like I have more of a name here, and, I might get lost with all the things that are going in Atlanta. So, you will hear about that salon.
Okay.
Definitely will hear about it.
Very cool. Well, Sunshine, that's all the questions I had prepared. Is there anything you'd like to add?
I just want to say thank you to you. Thank you for keeping me alive and thinking about me and giving me the opportunity to do this today. And I just want to invite people again, to come go on this journey with me. I do music because I love it. I'm not here to knock anyone out of the way or push anybody to the side, but I'm here. So come go on this journey with me.
Cool. Thanks so much, Sunshine. I'm going to keep doing my best to spread the word about the album. Hopefully everyone gets a chance to hear, and just keep doing what you do.
Thank you.
Wish you the best of luck.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
I really appreciate that. You too.
All right, take care.
Okay. Take care. Bye-bye.